Once upon a time, there was a young man who lived in poverty and often wandered from village to village. He yearned for a sturdy shelter, a small piece of land where he could farm and start a stable life. He often dreamed that if he had a little house, he wouldn't have to drift anymore, but could take care of his crops and share the knowledge he had learned from wise people. Hey, amazing viewers! If you enjoy these stories, please hit that subscribe button. It's free and means so much to me. Your support helps me inspire more people. Thank you for being part of this journey. One day, the young man heard about a king known for his kindness and generosity. It was said that anyone who approached the king would have their wishes granted without hesitation. With hope in his heart, the young man decided to go to the palace and request a small piece of land to cultivate. When he arrived at the palace, he saw a long line of people waiting to have their wishes fulfilled. Finally, it was the young man's turn, and the king welcomed him with a warm smile. "Hello, young man. How can I assist you?" The young man bowed humbly and said, "Your Majesty, I need a small piece of land so I can grow plants and start my life." The king smiled and asked, "How much land do you need?" The young man hesitated, calculating in his mind. 1 acre might be enough, but perhaps if the king were more generous, he should ask for 2 or even 3 acres. In the end, he decided, "Your Majesty, if I may, I would like to request 10 acres. But noting his own hesitation, the king said, "To make it easier for you, walk in any direction you choose. And wherever you stop before the sun sets, all the land you walked through will belong to you. However, there is one condition. You must return before sunset. Otherwise, you will receive nothing." Filled with excitement, the young man began to walk. At first, he walked at a steady pace, but soon greed began to rise within him. "If I run faster, I will get more land," he thought, and started to run. As he dashed across fields and through forests, the king's knights, seeing him in such a hurry, called out, "Young man, stop. Take a break and drink some water. You won't be able to continue if you keep running like that." But the young man refused. "There's no time to rest. I have to cover as much ground as I can before the sun sets." Along the way, he spotted a beautiful lake and thought, "If I run around the lake, I'll get even more land." As he circled the lake, he felt exhausted, but his greed kept him from wanting to stop. The knights called out again, "Remember, young man, don't let greed tire you out to the point of exhaustion. Listen to our advice." The young man ignored their warnings and continued running. The sun climbed high, the heat intensified, and he began to feel weary. Eventually, time flew by, and when the young man realized he needed to turn back, he was far too exhausted, losing his strength. As he neared the palace, fear rose within him. He wouldn't make it back before the sun set. Finally, when he was close to the palace, he was so fatigued that he collapsed to the ground, and the moment he feared had come. All his efforts became worthless, for he would receive no land at all. When the young man knelt before the king, his eyes full of tears and disappointment, the king saw the exhaustion and sadness in his gaze. He spoke slowly. "Young man, the land doesn't matter anymore. If you only ran to possess more, you will never find peace in life." The king continued to share profound philosophies about life, reminding the young man that true values are not found in material possessions, but in the ability to appreciate and be satisfied with what one has. He said, "Life is not a race to see who can accumulate the most. It is a journey where you need to treasure every moment." He added, "You see, in your hurry and greed, you overlooked the important things around you. You didn't stop to rest, to appreciate the beauty of the lake, or to find peace in the breath of life. Only by recognizing what you truly need can you find happiness." Although the young man did not receive the land he desired, he felt gratitude for the king's wise words. The king saw that the young man had learned a valuable lesson from this experience and decided to give him a new opportunity. "I will grant you a small piece of land near the castle, where you can cultivate and build your life," said the king. A year later, the king returned to visit the young man. He saw that the young man's land had become fertile and vibrant, filled with all kinds of fruit, vegetables, and lush greenery. The young man had built a small house and lived in peace. Seeing the young man's happy face, the king smiled and said, "You have awakened your awareness and truly understand that happiness does not lie in possessing more, but in the ability to fully live with what you have and to care for it." This story reminds us that life is not just a race to achieve more, but a journey to live with gratitude and love. Sometimes the simplest lessons provide the greatest value, helping us to better understand the meaning of life and happiness. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more valuable videos.